G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is a cloudy evening. Oh, just finished work, so I thought I'd chuck on the old GoPro and have a little talkie on a topic that I thought would be interesting. Now, if you are new around here, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. I upload roughly every 3 days, sometimes earlier, sometimes more. Anyway, into more pressing topics. So today's topic at hand is, man, is a 500cc bike big enough for the road, really? Or like, and I'm talking like 650cc learner bikes, like those, you know, those lower power bikes. Are they enough for the street? Like an R3 or a Ninja 650 or Jason's MC19 or even my trusty steed of a Rebel 500. And well, it depends on your person you're asking, honestly. It's an interesting, like, sort of divide when it comes to who is it for and what does it need and stuff like that, you know? Because you see, some people are more like the old squiddy boys who love their 600cc bikes, or they really want to start on a learner bike because they're fucking psychopaths. And then there's other more civilized people who say an R3 is plenty for the street. And, like, if the GP riders say a 600cc is even too strong for the street, maybe you should listen to those boys, but sometimes all you want is a little bit of power, baby. Because come on, dude. More power, baby. But yeah, like, think about it, right? There's different types of bikes with different characteristics for road riding. And like, 1000cc sport bike is usually just considered overkill, but then again, so is a Lamborghini or Ferrari. And everybody wants one of those usually. Well, I don't, but like, most people do. But like, they've got different things for different folks. Now, you can buy a Harley and shake all over the place and have plenty of torque and drive your tractor motorcycle around, or you could buy a sports bike and fang it around and break every law known to man. But is a small engine bike enough? And the short and sweet answer is, of fucking course it is. Jesus Christ, man. If you think it's not, you've got a screw loose or something. Because, like, there's a reason they sell so fucking much. And it's not just because they're learner bikes, especially in Australia, but, like, there's a reason they're so popular. It's because they're more than enough power for the street. They're fuel efficient and they're light usually. Now, my bike's about 190 kilos, which is about, you know, usual sport bike weight. But, like, they're not absurd. Now, the Rebel 500, I've been riding it for like a little while now, and look, it leaves a little bit to be desired in terms of power. And if you're on the freeway and you want to overtake ridiculously fast, look, it ain't your bike for it. It'll still outdo every car, man. Like, you will destroy every car off the line with a 250cc bike in like 90% of cases. So, if you think you're not fast enough, it's ridiculous. Now, if you're going like freeway riding all the time, maybe an R15 is not the bike for you or a Grom, but they're certainly capable of doing them. You may have to lane filter or like full tuck to be able to do like overtakes and like full-on draft cars, but oh, hey, my point is, it's possible, all right? It can be done. It's not impossible. Then you got this boy over here, like, there you go, the learner bike, Lamb's boy. And what's this going to be, like an R3 or something? Probably. And they're more than adequate. It is an R3. It's a newer R3. Very, very lush decision. I've been a big fan of those R3s. Look at them. Like, if you think that thing there is not a good street bike, you're fucking crazy. An R3 can hit a higher top speed than my bike can, and this is a 471 parallel twin versus, well, I don't know what that is, but like, I'm guessing it's less than this, considering it's an R3. I mean, I know it is, but you know what I mean. I don't know its exact statistics. Now, in terms of acceleration, obviously my bike will probably beat it, but the R3 specifically revs a lot higher than my bike does. But man, like, did you see, like, look at that. If you can look in the rear mirror, you see everyone's well behind, all right? This bike is more than adequate in terms of acceleration for the street. It's absurd compared to any other car and what they're capable of. I don't know why you'd think that they're slow and why so many people don't think they're good. Now, obviously, I like to absolutely fang it out of the gate usually, but, oh, man, my point being is, if you can't handle a smaller bike on the road because you think it's not fast enough for you, like, Jesus fucking Christ, mate, you're full of shit. Now, I say this coming from a place where my next bike, I kind of want to be 1000ccs because I want that speed. But this goes back to my previous point. the bike that you buy for the road depends on the rider itself, because, like, look, I know plenty of people who buy Rebel 500s and they want to keep them as their permanent bike, because, like, the Rebel 500 is more than adequate. It's a great commuter bike, fantastic fuel economy. Hands down, it's a great bike, alright? There's nothing wrong with the fucking Rebel. It's just not fast enough, and it doesn't lean over as far as I'd like, but it leans over fucking incredible considering it's a cruiser. This is like a naked bike with cruiser aesthetics, alright? What more could you want? But, like, you can buy yourself a fucking Indian Chief Dark Horse. Now it's got a 1.9 litre engine, basically. It's about 10 cc's off, but, hoi, 87 horsepower, 160 newton meters of torque. That bitch gotta be fucking strong. You don't need it. Especially if you just want to go around little trips, small bike's all you need. And the best thing about small learner bikes are they're very upright as opposed to very aggressive sport bikes. Oh, look at that old thing. Very, very sexy. But, oh, man. Like, Hugh has an MT-09, although we haven't seen it all summer because it's been fucking repaired still. But, that bike is overkill, alright? You can't say it's not overkill, but master of torque, it's fun, alright? There's another factor bikers seem to forget about when they just talk about speed. A bike isn't all about speed. Sometimes it's about the enjoyment factor. Now, I say that because Jason's MC19 only has, like, what is it, like 20-something newton meters of torque or something. It's not great in terms of torque, and it's got not much horsepower, but I guarantee you, if you ride a bike like Jason's MC19 or an MC22, you will have more fun on that than you can even on a bloody R3 or an R6. Because sure, you won't be going as fast as an R6 can, but hot dog, when you're revving at 18,500 RPM and you're fanging it down a place, those bikes are small and light. You can enjoy them, alright? Now, let me tell you a little trick about smaller bikes. They're lighter. Do you know what that means? If you're going around the mountains, you won't really care about the fucking leader bikes because, well, you don't need a leader bike in a mountain section. Usually the smaller bikes will go faster than the leader bikes because they're so small and nimble. Alright? Which means, you know what that means? It means fast bike fucking. You can go very fast. Alright? Very good. And the best part is because they're so small, man, they swear to God they feel like toys. They're so fun and nimble. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, if you want a bigger bike, a bigger, faster bike, there's a reason you want it, and it's usually because you want to go fast, alright? Having the straight line speed is definitely a thrill, and the first time you fucking send it and you hit your bike's red line, you're like, oh, this is kind of addictive. Now, I've hit the top speed of the Rebel multiple times, and like 171 kilometers an hour is not very fast in terms of motorbike speeds, and in fact, most small bike engine ones can do about 200, like the R3 and all that. But hey, when you hit 300 on a bike, it's a lot worse. And if you fall off at 170 versus 300 plus, I can assure you, instead of it all going black like it would at 300 usually, it just, you probably survive if you've got the right gear on it. It depends on the accident. But god damn. Want to know what else is really good about smaller bikes? They are infinitely more comfortable than bigger bikes. Now, Gixxers are very comfortable leader bikes compared to the other ones, alright? That's kind of what they're known for. They're quite comfy. An R3 is it's like a naked bike position, dude. Sure, you can tuck, but it's no like CBR, Triple R, right? It's no R1. It's just comfortable. Now the Rebel 500 even is not like even cruisery. It's more naked. It's a very, standard position. But hey, that's the joys of the smaller bikes. But the ultimate question is a small engine bike fast enough for the road? And if you think the answer is no, you're a fucking idiot. Alright, there's no other question about it. Now if you live in Germany, well then that's a whole different question, because the Autobahn wants you to go very fast. Guten Tag, alright? You want to hit those big speeds on that thing because you don't want to be the slow cunt in the road that everyone's like, fucking move over. But that's a very niche circumstance. And obviously Northern Territory has the speedless road. I wish we had fucking more of them. It would make a lot more sense, because fucking hell, man, I'm sick and tired of being sluggish everywhere because Australia's speed limits are fucking shit. Not as slow as like the frozen countries, but still, they're very low in Australia. But yeah, you can obviously enjoy a small engine bike. They've got plenty of go. You'll be faster than every car on the road. If you lose a drag race to a car, even with like a 250, like, something's wrong with you, not the car. Clearly you just didn't launch the bike as well as you could have. You know what I mean? But hey, that's just the joys of the small things. And if you're not, usually smaller bikes are obviously beginners, so Now, usually beginners aren't as good at launching as, say, most people are, so obviously they're not going to be as fast in some cases, but man, you'll chop a Mustang in like a little 250 off the lines. They're a lot fucking quicker than people seem to think they are because, oh, small engine, slow. Yes, top speed, absolutely. Legal speeds, mate, you'll be fucking the fastest thing still. So don't worry. And if you're going around the mountainside, believe me, a small bike is more than adequate. And I mean infinitely more than adequate, because a small bike you can throw around so much more. Now, if everyone, let me use everyone's favorite bike's a fucking H2, all right? They're 240 fucking kilograms, man. It's ridiculous. You know how hard that would be to yeet around a corner if you haven't fucking got the experience. Like, a H2 is not a very flickable bike. A H2 is a boat, all right? By sports bike terms. Yes, it's aggressive, and yes, it sort of needs to be long for all that power, but it's a fucking big bike, and a boost is 260 kilos, man. You're not going to be whipping that shit around. They're straight line weapons for a reason, okay? Whereas you get an MC19, sure, it might only hit 200 Ks, 180 Ks, depending on how you've set it up, but I can assure you, you hit those mountainsides with your 170, 180 kilo bike, and you will destroy absolutely everything that you are challenging without any questions asked, all right? But that's my 2 cents on the matter, alright? Please let me know down below your own comments and thoughts, because obviously every bike has a place for everybody. So there's no right or wrong answer. Yes, you can say the bike's too slow for the road. Others can say no. I think the Rebel's great, but I think it's too slow for what I like doing. But if I said that it was the be-all end-all, I'd be an idiot, because like this bike is fantastic, alright? But that's just that. But that's all I have time for today, ladies and gentlemen, so don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Take it easy, keep it cheesy, and as always, have a nice day, and peace!